Hello and welcome to Travel Beans. I'm Emma and this is Alex. We are a couple who have been traveling the world for the last 6.5 years.
And over the last 2 years, the two countries we've spent the most time in are the Philippines and Thailand, because these are our favorite countries in Southeast Asia. A question we get asked a lot is, which one should we visit? So we decided to make a video so you guys can decide which one is for you.
So in this video, we will be outlining 6 comparisons between Thailand and the Philippines.
So the first 3 will be nature, infrastructure and location.
And the second 3 will be people, food and culture.
So first let's start with nature. It goes without saying that both of these countries have incredible nature, and that is one of the main draws to both of these places. However, the Philippines is on another level. It is world class. And one of the main reasons for this, I think, is because of the lack of tourism compared to Thailand.
So with over 7,000 islands, it's actually relatively easy to find your own personal slice of paradise when compared with a country like Thailand.
Thailand has many beautiful spots, but the problem is there's many people who have gone to visit these places.
Enjoying those beautiful spots. So we would probably give Thailand 9 out of 10 for nature. Philippines, we got 10 out of 10, I'm afraid. It's also worth noting that it's not all about the beaches. There are other things to go and see aside from those. So you have amazing mountains, rice fields and landscapes in both of these countries, and they are actually both relatively easy to explore by bike, which we really love. But the thing that tips it over to the Philippines is the beaches.
We have been to many places around the world with the azure blue water, including the Maldives, and the Philippines for us is the best that we've seen.
So that brings us to number 2, which is location. So yes, the Philippines has slightly better nature than Thailand, but is that worth the extra travel time? From Europe for us, as well as a lot of other countries, it is much easier, quicker and cheaper to fly to Bangkok than it is to fly to Manila or Cebu. So when you add all of that together, is the one extra point in nature actually worth traveling all that time for?
So Thailand, and specifically Bangkok, is the hub of Southeast Asia. Almost every backpacker comes through this city. It's also close to a bunch of other countries, so if you want to be able to cram as much in a short space of time, this is going to be the better country for you.
One other thing to think about is the internal flights. In the Philippines, there are a ton of islands that you might want to go and explore, and the fees for the flights and the time spent getting from place to place could add up for you. As per usual, the wait is definitely worth it when it comes to the Philippines. However, for most people traveling for short-term trips, Thailand definitely wins.
So this leads us on to the third point of infrastructure. Now, Thailand's infrastructure is world class for tourists.
They've got it down. They've been doing the tourism game for a long time and they know how to play it.
But on the other hand, this means that you have a lot of tourists in lots of different places. Because the network is so extensive, it means that there are not as many off the beaten path places.
Yes, so if you're more of an adventure traveler, this could actually be an advantage for the Philippines, and that it's much easier to go get off the beaten track and make your own adventure.
This is the reason we keep going back to the Philippines, because here we get to have adventures that we don't usually get to have in some of the other Southeast Asian countries.
And if we were awarding points for the amount of times we've got off the beaten path and found our own private area to enjoy in nature, the Philippines would definitely win on that one.
But if you're interested in finding off the beaten paths in both of these places, check out our Philippines series, and also check out our Mae Hong Son loop in Thailand, because it is still possible.
One other point we have to make about the infrastructure is the Wi-Fi. I'm sorry, Philippines.
Doesn't compare.
No, it doesn't compare to Thailand. One of the main reasons we worked in Thailand for such a long time was that we could have up to 100 megabytes Wi-Fi speed pretty consistently.
Sometimes a lack of Wi-Fi is a blessing in disguise for us. As people that work online, we need it, we cannot live without it. So our trips to the Philippines have to be very short because we can't afford to not work for longer than a week or two. And that's why we will keep going back to Thailand until the Philippines sorts out its Wi-Fi issues.
However, if you want to get off the grid, switch off your phone, switch off your laptop and just enjoy the nature, head over to the Philippines. It's the place to go. So now we come to comparison number 4, and that is the people.
They call Thailand the land of smiles, and the people there are very, very nice and friendly, especially outside of the big cities.
If you'd like to see some examples of how awesome the Thai people can be, you can check out our last video when we were driving from Pai to Chiang Mai, and we actually had a flat tire in the middle of the mountains and we were stuck there. And we got rescued by a bunch of amazing Thai guys.
But the one thing with Thailand is that, of course, they speak Thai, and the language barrier can be an issue sometimes, compared to the Philippines, which is not an issue at all.
So both Thai and Filipino people are incredibly friendly. However, we have to say that the Filipinos are on a whole other level of friendliness. I think the main reason for that, I must admit, is the language barrier in Thailand. As Al said, most people in Thailand are not speaking English, which is fair enough, but we can't help but notice that comparison, and it is so much easier to connect with people when you speak the same language.
We have been able to connect with the Filipinos better than any other nationality on our travels, and the only one that comes close is the Brazilians. When I was there, the people were so friendly and so sociable, and this completely translates as well to the Filipinos. They are the Brazilians of Southeast Asia, in my mind, and I can't thank them enough for their hospitality.
Next up is number 5, food. This is something that is very important for us when we travel and for a lot of our viewers out there. And of course, we have made some videos where we praised the Filipino cuisine. We have found a lot of dishes out there which we love.
However, Thai food has a reputation for a reason of being one of the best in the world, and it is delicious, always.
Yeah, unfortunately, when it comes to the food race, I think Thailand is gonna win, at least for the British taste. Many of my British friends and other British travelers that I met way prefer Thai food than almost any other food they've tried around the world.
Also, Emma is a vegetarian, and Thai food leans itself very well towards vegetarians. Philippines, not so much. There are options, but there are not as many options as you're going to have in Thailand.
One thing I would like to add, if you are a veggie and thinking of going to the Philippines, is do not write it off completely, because their English is so good, as we've said, so it's very easy to convey that you don't want meat in your food if you're asking for it, so don't worry too much.
But having said that, 2 of my favorite dishes around are in the Philippines. One is lechon. I always talk about this delicious, delicious pork. And the other is turon, which is the best dessert we've had on our travels. We still talk about it almost every day.
Banana and jackfruit turon especially.
But then you also love mango sticky rice.
I do love mango sticky rice. I just want to eat my way around Asia, guys.
So this leads us to our final point, number 6, which is culture. In our opinion, the countries that seem to interest us the most in regards to culture are the ones that are the most different from our own.
Of course, Thailand and the Philippines are both very different from life in the UK. However, Thailand does push through as being more unique and more unusual to us Brits.
The Filipino culture is certainly very interesting to us. However, it is a Christian country, and as British people coming from a Christian country, Thailand is more interesting just purely by the fact that it is a Buddhist country.
This influences the style of the architecture, going to be able to see some religious buildings like temples, which you would never usually see in the UK or Europe.
As we see churches basically every day in the UK, seeing churches in the Philippines is still interesting, but it's not on the same level as seeing a temple.
And with that, many of the holidays that are celebrated in both countries are extremely different.
One thing, when we're on the road, we really truly miss Christmas, and one massive point that we give towards the Philippines is that they celebrate Christmas on another level to anyone else in the world.
Their Christmas celebrations start in September.
3 months of amazing Christmas.
3 whole months of Christmas celebrations. So if you're like us and you love Christmas and you're missing it and you need to find some country in Asia to go and celebrate, the Philippines is your place to go.
But if you are looking for something a little bit different to what you're used to, then we personally would recommend Thailand.
So, in conclusion, out of all of the 6 points that we have highlighted, both nature and people go to the Philippines. They've won that. They've got 2 points out of 6.
But not just 2 points in this little terrible comparison. This is like world class and worth visiting Philippines alone just for these reasons. Even though Thailand won 4-2, if I had to choose where I would go tomorrow, I would choose the Philippines hands down.
Yes, I second that actually.
And the main reason for this is that I have the most fun and I feel the most excited when I go to the Philippines for the sense of adventure that it always provides.
So obviously you guys should take this with a pinch of salt because everyone has different opinions on both of these countries. However, if you are looking for a comparison to try and decide your next trip, hopefully this has helped you guys to see which one is more suitable for you.
Now I'm sure many people are going to agree or disagree with these points. Let us know in the comments if we've missed anything, if we're completely wrong, and if we're completely right.
Thank you so much for watching, as always.
It's the time to give us one of these.
Yeah,
thumb it in, guys.
Give us a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We have a lot of fun adventures coming up to share with you.
There's this hilarious little bell. Just press it, guys. Honestly, it's so funny when you do it. Just do it. Now, for new people and old, we always end the video in the same way. I've tried to phase it out a little bit, and I got comments and messages saying, why are you not doing it? So, with popular demand, it looks like it's here to stay, and it goes a little something like this. Peace out!